Chosen ones, listen closely. You are not like the rest. You were marked from the beginning, set apart for something sacred. That's why you can't eat what they eat. You can't consume what they consume. What enters your body, your mind, your spirit doesn't just pass through. It stays, it shapes, it transforms. The enemy knows this. That's why he hides poison in pleasure. He disguises destruction as delight. And while the world feeds without discernment, you are being called to resistance. This message is not for the casual believer. This is not for the lukewarm. This is for the awakened, the chosen, the ones who know that every bite, every click, every compromise has a cost. You're not being called to a diet. You're being called to destiny. And if that just hits something deep in your spirit, stop what you're doing right now. Hit the like button. Drop a comment that says, I choose to be set apart, and let this message activate the remnant. Now, let's go deeper. You feel it, don't you? That invisible pressure. Every time you're about to consume something, a voice, a pull, a pause in your spirit. That's not anxiety. That's divine discernment. Chosen one, understand this. For you, nothing is just entertainment. Nothing is just food. Nothing is just music. Everything you consume is either constructing your calling or corrupting it. There is no neutral ground. Daniel didn't refuse the king's food because of preference. He refused it because he knew what nourishes the world can contaminate the chosen. And that same awareness must live inside you. Some things look harmless, but they carry a frequency designed to distort your perception of God. A song that stays stuck in your head for days. A video that seems innocent. A trend that everyone's following. It only takes one seed to shift your spirit. The truth? The spiritual realm is always feeding you. Always. The question is, who's cooking? Who prepared that plate? Who inspired that content? Who's speaking through that screen? You've been feeling heavy lately, haven't you? Confused. Spiritually foggy. Check your intake, because what you allow in will either align you with heaven or disconnect you from it. This isn't about paranoia. It's about precision. You don't belong to the crowd. You belong to the kingdom. And kingdom vessels must be pure to carry power. Stay with me. We're about to expose something darker. It's not just what you consume. It's who is using it against you. Keep watching. Let me reveal something few dare to say out loud. Satan still serves food. And just like in Eden, he doesn't force feed. It looks pleasing. It sounds good. It feels right until it poisons your purpose. The enemy isn't just attacking you with violence. He's seducing you with flavor. He's mastered the art of making temptation taste like nourishment. That's why you feel drawn to certain things you know are draining your spirit. Because the trap isn't always pain. Sometimes it's pleasure. Chosen one, he knows he can't steal your calling. But if he can weaken you, if he can distract you with spiritual junk food, he'll delay your assignment long enough to disconnect you from divine timing. And here's the chilling part. Many of God's chosen are unknowingly feeding on the cursed foods sacrificed in rituals, content birthed in rebellion, products carrying frequencies of lust, pride, rebellion, hidden behind labels like organic, trending, or popular. You think you're just consuming, but in the spirit, you're being consumed. Let me ask you, when was the last time you prayed over what you put into your body, over what you allowed into your mind, over what you let entertain your soul? Because if you're not consecrating it, it might already be contaminated. This isn't about being afraid. It's about being awake. Because when the chosen consume carelessly, they fall strategically. And some of you watching right now, this is your warning. That craving, that addiction, that constant hunger that never satisfies. It might not be hunger at all. It might be spiritual warfare, disguised as appetite. But here's the power. Once you recognize the trap, you break its hold. Stay with me. What I'm about to share next will shift how you see your entire lifestyle forever. Let's get one thing clear. You were never called to fit in at the table of the world because you eat from a different table. Your diet is not about survival. It's about spiritual precision. Just like elite athletes can't afford greasy meals before stepping into the arena. You, chosen one, can't afford to feed on what weakens your fire. Why? Because your calling requires clarity, not confusion. Discernment, not distraction. Spiritual sharpness, not emotional dullness. You are in training for something greater, and heaven doesn't feed warriors the same way it feeds the crowd. That's why God interrupts your cravings. That's why you feel conviction when others feel nothing. That's why certain things make you sick. Because your spirit is rejecting what your destiny cannot carry. And while others scroll, binge, snack, and stuff themselves with whatever satisfies the flesh, you are being trained to fast, to consecrate, to consume with intention. Your appetite is being reprogrammed by the Spirit, because this isn't about legalism. It's about alignment. You're not following a religion. You're following a divine rhythm, a lifestyle where heaven determines your menu. And yes, it will cost you. You will feel isolated, misunderstood, even mocked. But remember, Noah built while they laughed. Until it started to rain, let them laugh. Let them question. You're not eating for entertainment. You're feeding for eternity. Stay with me. The next truth will expose why even a small compromise could cost you more than you think. Let me ask you something dangerous. What has your compromise been costing you? In silence? Because every time you consume what God told you to avoid, something shifts in the spirit. Not always loud, not always immediate, but always real. You feel it in your prayer life, in your focus, in your fire. A slow dimming, a gentle drifting, a quiet loss of spiritual sharpness. That's how the enemy works with the chosen, not with chaos, but with compromise. It's sweet at first. It feels small, harmless, just a little distraction, just one more scroll, just one more bite, just one more night, entertaining what God already told you to cut off. But what you don't see is that every act of disobedience dislocates you from your destiny. Remember Samson? He didn't lose his strength when he laid in Delilah's lap. He lost it when he ignored the boundaries God placed over his life, one compromise at a time, until one day he stood up and the power was gone. And some of you, you've been standing up, wondering why it feels like your strength left, why you feel disconnected, numb, weakened. It's not because you're broken. It's because you've been feeding your flesh while starving your spirit. You cannot carry a divine calling with a casual appetite. You cannot walk in power while dining in disobedience. God isn't punishing you. He's trying to preserve you. Because the cost of compromise isn't just delay, it's destiny detoured. And some detours don't come back around. But here's the hope. The moment you recognize the price, you can stop the payment. There's still time to return, to purify, to reclaim what was almost lost. And what comes next will show you exactly how heaven is preparing you for greater if you're willing to pay the price. Keep watching. Chosen one, you felt it. That pull in your spirit. That divine discomfort with things that once felt normal. That sense that heaven is drawing a line in the sand and calling you to cross over. This isn't random. It's not overthinking. It's refinement. Because there's a remnant rising, and you're part of it. God is not asking everyone to purify, but He is asking you. Why? Because your calling isn't ordinary. Your assignment isn't light. You've been chosen to carry something holy, and holiness always demands a cost. This isn't about rules, it's about alignment. When the Spirit of God begins to detox your life, He doesn't just clean your plate, He changes your taste. You'll begin to lose your appetite for what once satisfied your flesh, because your spirit is waking up to something deeper. You'll notice it in the way certain songs suddenly make you uncomfortable, in how certain conversations drain your energy, in how certain foods, habits, and environments feel off, even if everyone else is fine with them. That's the Spirit, not punishing you, but preparing you. He's silencing the noise so you can hear His voice again. He's removing the toxins because you've been called to carry glory. He's cutting off access to what contaminates your clarity, because blurred vision leads to broken destinies. And yes, it's going to feel lonely at times. You'll feel like you're the only one fasting when others feast, the only one staying in when others go out, the only one saying no when everyone else says yes. But what looks like isolation is actually consecration. God is hiding you to build you, cleansing you to equip you, restricting you to release you at the right time. This is your divine distinction, and if you embrace it, you will walk in, a power the world can't touch. Now, let's seal this. What I'm about to say in the conclusion will shake you to your core, because your next move could change everything. Stay with me. Chosen one, this wasn't just a video, this was a wake-up call, a spiritual alarm sounding over your life. You weren't just watching, you were being summoned. Heaven has been watching what you tolerate, what you feed, what you excuse. But now, God is placing a sword in your spirit, a line in the sand, a fire in your belly. No more casual consumption, no more diluted destiny, no more feasting at tables God never called you to sit at. You are not like them. You never were. God is raising a remnant that's pure, sharp, unshakable. A people who don't just speak holiness, they live it. And if this message pierced you, if something inside you just broke open, it's because the Holy Spirit is confirming what you already knew deep down. You've been chosen to be set apart, not to blend in, not to be liked, but to carry power this world can't explain. So now, you choose. You cut off what contaminates. You rise up in purity. You walk out your calling with fire in your bones. If this word hit your spirit, don't keep it to yourself. Someone else is starving for this truth. Share this video and drop this in the comments right now. I choose to be set apart. Let the world know you're done playing small. And if you're ready for more prophetic, spirit-filled words to fuel your fire, subscribe, because the path ahead is narrow, but those who walk it shake nations, split darkness, shift atmospheres. You're not just watching, you've been activated. Now go. Walk like the chosen, eat like the called, live like the marked, and never look back.